Hello everybody, welcome back to Back Out of the Case. This is Skyflight44, aka Zect44. And today I'm going to be playing Copyright Claim the Game. I don't really know how this is going to work out, because we're playing today The Lord of the Rings The Third Age. There's no way to turn down the music, and in the actual cutscenes, there's absolutely no way I can actually go in to get rid of the music because it's completely embedded into the cutscenes. And there's a lot of movies I'm going to have to be skipping over because there's a shitload of scenes in this game, and which it just shows you stuff from the actual scenes from the actual movie, clips from the actual movie, and Gandalf just kind of going on and explaining things, and which actually kind of makes the actual game pretty good. But we're going to be going and playing this game on hard. I might as well put subtitles on. This game can actually be pretty hard. Now, is it impossible? No. But there are a lot of things that are going to be going on in this game. Unlike the Game Boy Advance game, instead of it being a turn-based strategy game, it's actually a turn-based RPG. Very similar to Final Fantasy X in the actual gameplay. And though I hate Final Fantasy X for the story and the characters, I actually like the gameplay in that game. So this game was actually pretty good for me. So let's go to new game. Gonna have to skip over the first, well, the cutscene, the clip scene. I should probably go on save.
The world of Middle-earth.
But
Welcome, warrior of Gondor. Your road here will not be an easy one. Much will be risked in the war that is to come. But you will justify my trust. This I sense with all my heart.
Stand aside, creature. You are in my way.
first of all, this is fanfic. It's neither. I don't really like fanfic at all. I don't like fanfiction at all. Mainly because I'm a writer and I write for myself. So if other people started writing in my world with my characters, I would kind of feel. In my opinion, I really wouldn't like it. But I'm kind of biased against fan fiction, unless it's really good. And this game, it's not too complex. It's not all that. It's neither offensive nor is it intrusive to the the real good story. So it's just something like a little side story that they put in, and it's actually pretty good. I like the characters. I like everything. So I hope you do too. So let's just see. We can actually attack right now. We can do taunt foe. We have our health, the AP down there, and that little bar will be for our perfect mode. No, actually, no. The bar on the far right will be for our perfect mode. There were two bars there. Sorry, but the one next to the health is actually the health bar. If you actually see with all those icons, the character icons to the right, at the very top is a character who's going to be going first. And then the next one down will be, that's their turn. So it'll be the Barithor, then one Ring Wraith, then the second one, then back to Barithor, Ring Wraith, and then the other one. That's basically how the game works. It goes based off, well, it's very, very much like Final Fantasy X. But this battle is impossible to win, and especially when you see that that's going to do immediate 177 damage. Yes.
Return to the shadow, slave of Sauron. What grace has been given to me, let it pass to him. Let him be spared. To you I bestow this gift of my people. It braces the soul and binds the hearts of others.
I live because of your bravery, my lady. What favor might I grant you?
There is no time. Hurry, we must find you equipment and heal your wounds.
Now, a couple of things I'm going to have to go. No, don't want to see another scene. Actually, I'm just going to show you the scenes. There are 109 scenes in the entire game. I've never gotten every single one of them. One of them in East Moria, I believe, I could never for the life of me ever find. It was like 17 or something. One of them, I could never actually go and find it, but basically, you can actually go and see them. You're going to get them quite frequently, as you can probably guess, since there's 109 of them. It allows somebody like a Gandalf to actually go and explain some of the things about the just Middle Earth at this time, and shit, as if you actually never went and read any of the books, ever watched any of the movies. You can actually understand some of the things, and actually does it fairly well. Actually, some of these scenes were actually from the extended version, some of the deleted scenes from the actual movies, which was interesting the first time I ever seen this game. Now, I'm just going to be talking about the skills for a second, because they're going to be a big, really, really big thing. You have different skills. Each and every single character in the game, and there's going to be 6 different characters in the game, will have actually, every single character has their own set of passive skills, but they have their own 2 set of skills that are specifically for themselves, unique to themselves. Now, Barithor has Swordcraft and Leadership. Swordcraft is his attacking type moves, his attacking abilities. Leadership is his support abilities. Now, Barithor, not so much in the very beginning of the game, but especially getting to the very end of the game, from the halfway point to the very end of the game, Barithor is going to be one of your premier attackers. He has great health, great attack power, great defensive just armor, and he can actually take a lot of hits. He's basically going to be your ace at the very end of the game. However, you're going to have to really want to go for some of these later skills before he's actually truly amazing. Specifically Gondor Rampage, which actually makes him hit 5 times in one turn. Oh yeah, that also takes a shitload of AP, so you better have AP by that point. A lot of AP. But he starts out with Guardian Strike, a more powerful melee attack. It doesn't cost all that much AP. Now, if you actually use it, and it connects, you're going to be going and getting 1 SP for this branch. Now, or the skill tree, I should say. That means, because we have Orc Bane selected here, we actually get Guardian Strike to work 5 times, we'll get 5 SP, and then Orc Bane will actually unlock. Then we can choose either Shattering Strike, or we can go and choose Counterattack. And then using either Orc Bane or Guardian Strike, we can get SP to continue down the actual tree. Now, for Barithor, the ones that you're really going to want to have, actually quite quickly, is probably going down to Counterattack, And probably going down to Ecthelian Wrath. You don't need to go and get, what was it, Uruk-hai Bane so quickly. But going down to Ecthelian Wrath will be very, very useful. And then after that point, you really don't need any of these, except maybe. Actually, you're probably going to want to go and get Targeted Strike, but getting down to Gondor Rampage is going to be difficult. Now, his support abilities. I've never gone down to the actual lowest point. He'll actually, I believe some of his actual abilities will include getting AP restoration for everybody. Now, actually, this reduces action points as well. Holy shit, he's actually pretty good for that stuff. But Warcry gives 3 allies an immediate free attack. What was this? Last Gasp. Ooh, party will not drop below 1 health unless unless they're at 1 health. Ooh, that's actually pretty cool. Royal Grace will actually restore health for every single, your entire party for a small amount. The only ones you're actually going to need to do is to get up to Stand Fast. Getting Fellowship Grace will be very useful. But Stand Fast is necessary for one specific battle, especially when you get to Helm's Deep. Stand Fast will actually give the entire party immunity to stunning effects, which will be very, very frequent when you get to Helm's Deep. Trolls have stunning abilities, and Berserkers have stunning abilities, and I believe also Uruk-hai veterans have stunning abilities, and that all sucks. Now, please, it only takes 15 to actually get up to Stand Fast. You're actually going to want to get some of these actual support abilities anyway, so might as well go and get them. Now, Idril is, depending on how you actually use Idril can do a lot of things. Idril is pretty much your crutch character for a good while, but Idril is a crutch character. But unlike a lot of other crutch characters in other games, Idril will continue to be useful throughout the entire game. It's just she's not the overpowered kind of individual she was at the very beginning of the game. This is on normal. On hard, she's not completely overpowered, but Swordcraft, this, I would go and say Swordcraft will actually be pretty good. Don't actually go and... Idril is not perfect for this, though. This isn't where she shines. You go from Fluid Strike, it's basically her melee attacks are going to be going and doing a lot of those special effects. And she doesn't get many of the strike multiple times ones. She only gets Elven Rage and Gil-galad Rampage later on. However, Stunning Strike, getting early Stunning Strike, getting Wounding Strike, and possibly even Weakening Slash, though I'm probably never going to use it, could be useful. Spirit Powers. Idril, with her Spirit Powers, you're going to be using them absolutely all the time. Gift of Elrond, you're only going to be using the first chapter until you get Gift of Galadriel. Gift of Galadriel, especially with 1 Elfstone, will basically be a full heal. Loudwater Fury is an expensive water spirit move, in which you'll actually do a shitload of damage to any enemy. Especially when you get that Elfstone of Spirit Enhancement, it will continue to be useful until the end of the game. But she'll actually get Drain Inspiration, where she'll actually drain action points from the enemy for herself. Gift of Galadriel, Aura of the Valor, which will basically an auto-revive. Power of Valor, which will actually go and revive a fallen party member. Cleansing Waters, which will remove all negative effects from your entire group. Gift of the Grey Havens, restore pretty much a shitload of health to everybody. Water Stallion, do a shitload of damage to all your opponents. She's amazing. Not to mention, did I actually say Haste of the Elves? Very, very useful. Great. So that's You know, that's actually pretty good. Back to Barathor. We have passive skills. I'm just going to go, and before I continue on, because I do have to play the game. It's just that I have a lot to explain here. Your passive skills don't go on like your other skills actually do. Every single time you level up, you'll get 1 point in your passive skills. We get up to level 11, and we're going to get our first passive skill, Citadel Might, which will actually increase our strength. Then we can go and get Athelian Inspiration, Rising Valor, and all of these different ones. And you can generally down here actually pick which one you're actually going to want first. But the one that you're definitely going to want eventually is this one, Immune to Fear. But then we have the same thing happens over here for Idril. And all of the characters have it. But perfect mode, basically, except for the very last perfect mode thing, is once you actually go and get, once that bar on the far right reaches full, you can use a perfect mode ability. They will do certain things like arrow volley will attack all enemies. What was it? Lethal clawing will attack just one enemy. Terrible bite. All of these ones have different. Like a terrible bite is like a piercing move. Clawing is a slashing type move. There's all different types of stuff that happens in this game, but Earth Barrage and onwards are generally the ones that are actually going to be good, especially Roots of Wrath. Oh, hell yes for Roots of Wrath. And it's just good. Now to actually continue with the actual game. There are no shops in this game, and it's very, very linear. It's almost like you're playing Final Fantasy XIII, except even worse. However, it doesn't detract from the game itself. And while I'll actually go and defend Final Fantasy XIII, or I'm more likely not to defend Final Fantasy XIII and go on and just enjoy the game, because I don't feel like defending it, because a lot of people just aren't going to want to listen to me anyway. But there's actually a lot of different equipment we can actually get. And for the first time ever, I actually played a game, because it's a Western RPG, not a Japanese RPG. I go and equip, and it actually shows my character. I equipped a shield, and Barathor now has a shield. I equipped a helmet, and he now has a helmet, and it just changes. Now, at the very top left, you'll see a blue Palantir that's getting brighter and brighter as I continue onwards. That signifies a mandatory battle. Or not so much a mandatory battle, but you're getting close to a forced battle. Now, if that was the Eye of Sauron, that would actually turn into a random battle. The game is 95% forced battles, 5% or less random battles because of that. Now, I could use Loudwater Fury. That probably would actually take this guy out. However, that actually would be pretty bad for me. So I'm just going to be going with the Fluid Strike to gain some extra SP in my, just in my sword, play abilities. The thing about it is, you're going to actually want to go, and in the harder mode, stall. Basically, that means going, ooh, critical hit, cool. Stalling just means going and playing the game exactly the way you think you're going to be doing it. You're going to be going and wasting time, using your weaker abilities to gain more SP. And while that isn't, wrong button, that one. While that you might think will actually be a bit boring or something, it's actually very, very useful for getting your abilities up. Because if you just use your best abilities all the time, you're never getting your best abilities. But Idril can actually wear this, It'll actually bring her armor up another 7. At the same time, it'll actually give her a crap load of other stats. And will actually make her resist fire a bit. Now, Idril starts out, equipment-wise, worse than Barathor. But for most of the actual game, Idril will actually have better armor than any other character in the entire game. She'll actually double a lot of different characters' armor value very, very, very fast. Now, let's go and see if we can actually destroy this archer before anything else. Actually, I'm gonna go with company might. No, wait. Maybe what? See. Hopefully, this will actually be able to kill it off. Ah, damn it! It won't. I thought that was gonna be able to kill it off. Oh, good, it missed. Thing about it is, this game on hard it missed again. This game on hard it will actually be pretty hard. But let's go and kill you off. I'm going to be using company might just so that both Idril and Barathor have better stats for actually going through melee. Just regular melee damage with attack. Because otherwise, your attacks really don't do too much. You can actually go and get with other weapons extra little abilities like being able to drain damage, drain health from your opponent, and you'll actually gain just as much health as you actually, killed taking from your opponent. In which, if you actually take 5,000 health from your opponent, you're going to gain 5,000 health in return, which you're going to go right back to full. Which is actually pretty fun, because if you have counterattack acts exactly like a regular attack. And so, you'll actually go and somebody hits you, you're down to red health, then you do a counterattack, you hit them, and they'll bet you're back to full health. But there are no shops, there are no towns, and so you're going to have to go and have some good, you're going to actually have to use these items you have a bit smarter. Now, every single time you actually level up, you will actually gain stats just regularly. However, at the same time, you gain more stats that you can actually put into actual different stats yourself. Now, when you actually get to 5, I believe, every single 5 levels, you might gain an extra one. Instead of gaining the regular 2, you actually gain, 3? And I think that might actually happen. Maybe it happens again with 10 or not. I don't really remember. But for the very beginning of the game, I'll just go and explain the actual stats. Strength increases base damage. Spirit, for your spirit damage, also increases your maximum AP. Constitution or something. I forgot what it was. Something. Yeah, I probably butchered that stat. But greatly increases the maximum character's max health and defense. I know actually that was for spirit damage, I believe. Speed increases your defense for all your other stuff, and also your initiative. And dexterity, as you probably can guess, is that. Best thing to do very early on, go put everything into spirit for a little while until you get your AP up. You're going to need it. Every single time you level up, you'll actually go and heal up completely, which is really, really cool. So don't think that you're going to have to use items for healing and all that.
I heard a voice. On the road.
Yes, I know.
Who could it?
Patience.
I'm looking for Boromir of Gondor. Have you seen him?
No. But I do see orcs ahead.
And there's also a lot of these little cutscenes. Now there's actually 3 of them. This is probably actually going to allow us to actually level up again. I'm going to go and start attacking this one. Yeah, I could actually go and just take him out with Fluid Strike. I'm going to go and do that. I could if I wanted to. Ooh, critical. If I had critical actually happened on somebody else, I could have done a shitload of damage. But if I really wanted to, I could actually go and use Loudwater Fury and just take out probably the Orc Sword. But could also do the Archer if I really wanted to. But I'm just gonna continue with, continue trying to go and get some of my sword craft skills. They're actually going to be quite useful. The Loudwater Fury you're not really going to want to use until a little bit later. So don't think you're really going to have to use it to survive. Though any of these characters probably would have died already. Or any of these enemies probably would have actually died if I used Loudwater Fury. That is, at this point, will do close to around 200 damage. But it's just AP intensive. I don't really want to waste all my AP. Oh, got some more Lambits. King's Foil. Lambits will actually go and heal your AP. King's Foil will go and heal your health. And once again, add stuff into Spirit. Now, Barathor, we're going to be going for counterattack next. That'll be most useful. And Idril, how much longer until we actually get weakening slash... Wounding Strike would actually probably be best, to be honest, but Weakening Strike, I mean Weakening Slash I'm going to go for. Elven Rage I may or may not actually go for, because I believe it's actually like 50 AP. Oh well. Let's go on a little bit more. Oh, good. A little save station. And a chest. There is so much glare on my TV that I can barely see some of this shit. What did I actually get in that chest? Any equipment? No. Okay. Now, I'm going to save it off screen, but this is the end of the first part. I talked way too much explaining shit. But we're actually going to really start this game proper in the next part. See ya, everybody.